Hey guys, so I'm trying to show you what life is really like on the farm. This happened to Chamomile last night, and I believe it was the buck. He has been messing around trying to get at her teats, and I don't know how such a big piece came off. I kind of wonder if maybe she tried to make it over the fence. And I could take her into the vet, but you know what he'll do? He'll tell me to keep it clean. And I already have the shot to give her. It's not dirty. I'm going to put some King's Green cream on it because it's really good for gashes. As long as it's not a deep puncture, this has comfrey in it and it should be able to heal it up. I don't know for sure that it will, so that's not a recommendation. This is just life on the farm, and I was hoping to have a super fun little video today about my lovely goat Chamomile and how to pick a good milk goat. Hi Mama, I'm sorry that you don't feel good. But it looks like today I'm going to be showing you how to doctor one. Again, you want to keep it clean. I took the buck out.
Yep.
And yesterday,
with the other goats.
Yeah, put him with the other goats. Yesterday, she was just fine. I milked her yesterday and she was fine. The reason that she's in such a small pen was because we were trying to get her bred and keep her away from the buck that we didn't want her to be breeding with. I have looked everywhere this morning to try and find a missing piece of skin, and I can't find one. And I wonder if what actually happened was that he cut her and bit her, and that then what's happened is that she needs to be milked. Kaya, you need to go back in the house, please. And that's why she is exposed the way that she is, because I don't find any big piece of skin. I don't actually see any blood on the top of any of the fences. So if she did try to jump out, I can't tell where she might have tried to jump out, and she knows that it hurts. So a lot of times with the goat, it's just a series of elimination. I have never had good luck taking an animal to the vet. She's chewing her cud, which means she probably isn't in an enormous amount of pain, but she's not feeling real happy about it. So I'm not sure if I should just milk her out on the ground today. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to milk her out onto the ground today, put this on her, and see if that gaping wound will close up. And I'm not going to give her any grain. That way her milk production will come down so this can heal better. Hi Mama. Okay. So you can see it looks much better now. So I believe what happened is that he bit her and just kept tearing at her until she had a hole. But then what happened was that, hi Mama, yeah, I see you. But then what happened was that she then had her milk come in, and what happened is as her bag swelled, it filled up and tore it further. And so we just milked her out onto the ground. I did not bother with a bucket. She was really good for me. And I used some of that green cream on my hands. I didn't put it on the wound, but I put it on my hands to lube her up a little bit. And now we're gonna go take her to the vet and get her stitched up. Luckily, it did not in any way damage her udder, any way but superficially. Not that this is fun, but there's no puncture. So we're gonna go take her to the vet now. Okay, so the way that I like to transport my animals is in the back of a vehicle that is not exposed to the wind. And usually the way to get her up into the car is by walking through in front of her and having somebody just shut the door behind her, and that way they feel like they can see you in the car and they're safe. So, you okay, Kaya?
Yeah.
We are on our way to the vet. He's going to stitch her up. The problem is that she is such a high production milker that in order to keep her in milk, and also even if we decided to dry her up at this point, she would she'll probably break her stitches if I don't go and milk her at least twice a day. So we're on our way to our vet, and he's gonna try and work us in quickly. Okay, we'll try that again when I'm not driving. The reason that I like to take my goats inside the vehicle that I'm in is because it keeps them calm. She's not going to try and jump out of anything. I left the car for a few minutes and the girls were just out here so that I could go tell the vet we were here. And she got really nervous. I could see her staring out windows. So the one who milks her should be the one who takes her anywhere that she needs to go if you have to take her somewhere. And I don't like to have her out in the open air, even if we're just taking her to a buck or something, because the wind is hard on them. The bouncing of a trailer is really hard on them. Most of the people that I know that have small goat operations actually have a vehicle that they take their livestock in. And the easiest seems to be a minivan, honestly. It's easy for them to step up into. Ours is a little bit high for her. It's a little hard for her to get up and in because her bag is so big. It makes it hard for her to, her hind legs don't work as well as a goat that has a smaller bag, because her bag distends her legs out around her bag when she walks. And even when her bag is empty, her legs still kind of have that muscle memory of having been around that big bag. So you can see she's really calm. They fit us right in, and again, generally I can just medicate my own animals. This is something where if I was good at sutures, I could have fixed it myself, but I don't have enough practice with sutures to be confident in doing it. I don't know. Hi, where's your face? Another time with the camera. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but I don't think it's going to be that expensive. My biggest concern is that I'm going to have to go out and milk her every couple hours to keep her bag from swelling while the stitches are healing. And that's my only really big concern. And it's unnerving when this happens, and yet having a clear head and being able to look at a situation and say, is she bleeding? Did it puncture anything? Does she seem to be in an enormous amount of pain? What could have caused this? So initially when I first got there, I didn't just freak out. I went around and looked at the fence to see, did she try to jump the fence? Had I seen any suspicious behavior from her? And what I had seen in the last little bit was that once when I went to milk her, she had a little nick in her udder, and I wondered if maybe when she came through the gate, maybe the cow panel had caught her a little bit. So after that, I was really careful about how I opened the gate. I had seen the buckling kind of nipping at her udder, which is kind of normal for younger goats, because they associate the breeding instinct with the nursing instinct. They're very closely related, the breeding and the nursing instinct. And so when he felt like he was getting ready to breed, he was confusing it with the need to nurse. And her teats are quite small and down at the bottom, and he wouldn't, at his age, he wouldn't remember how to nurse. He would just know that food came from that source. And so now he knows to chew on things, and what he would have done is chewed on her udder. And in that small of a space, it's not like she could really get away from him. And have I had young bucks in with goats before? Yeah, and I've never had this happen before. That doesn't mean it didn't just happen. And so
it happened last night.
Yeah, it must have happened last night, or it could have happened yesterday, that he actually bit her, and then as her milk came in, it just expanded that slit. So I don't know if they'll let me take a video of the suturing, but we'll see. I would assume that they would give her some penicillin and just tell me to keep it really clean. I will not have any other goats in there with her while she's healing, because they could mess with her stitches. And I will probably put down some clean straw to make sure that I have everything, the area as clean as it possibly can be. So does it indeed look like something chewed at her? Doesn't it kind of look like something chewed at her to make it strip like that?
I think that's possible. She could have gotten it caught on something as well.
If she tried to go over a fence?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this kind of injury could happen from that as well.
See, I'm making the
Thank you, Paige. That's very helpful.
Okay, can I take the lidocaine, Jocelyn?
Okay, I'm so glad it's not worse. If that had got into her milk vein or anything, that would have been so hard. It's okay, Mama. It's okay. Is this a normal sound for her to make when she's under?
Yes.
How hard is it to do sutures that stay clean? Because I would think that would be the thing I would worry about, was if I had to do sutures on my own, could I keep the surface clean enough? Would you have to worry about things getting infected?
You mean after the sutures were in place?
Yeah.
Fortunately, once the sutures are in place, we definitely want to keep it clean, but the skin will kind of seal where the sutures are, and so we don't have to keep it sterile, if you will, but certainly as clean as possible is always a good idea. Okay, Jocelyn needs some clippers, and we'll clip some of this hair away, and then I'll have you prep it surgically.
So is that partially also why you're taking the flaps off, is because it makes things cleaner, less place for dirt to collect?
The biggest reason we'll take these flaps off is this flap of skin has a very compromised blood supply. And so it's very likely that this skin is not going to live no matter what we do.
Okay.
So I'd rather get it away so I can use this healthy skin to suture side to side.
Okay.
So it doesn't show like a thing. This is
Okay, Jocelyn, do you mind doing a prep on that for me? Hi. How are you guys? Well, great. Good to see ya. That's a goat, Seth. What are you guys doing?
So are you just trying to get the hair off?
Get the hair off and clean it up. That blue piece of gauze that I just had on there has an antiseptic scrub on it.
Okay.
So it'll kind of help get rid of whatever junk has been able to pile up in here and get as much of the bacteria out of there as possible. Just get it as clean as possible.
Is if you had iodine and you could like flush the area, would that be adequate?
Iodine's a good antiseptic. Would it be adequate?
Who knows?
An iodine or providone iodine surgical scrub is better. They use that in hospitals too.
And so the difference is the actual scrubbing motion?
No, it's the way it's formulated.
Okay.
The regular iodine that you would use for navels is not the same
Okay.
as what they use for a surgical prep.
Okay.
This is a different compound for the same purpose. It's called chlorhexidine, and it's always blue
Okay.
that we're using here.
she's kind of drifting off
real sleepy, huh? I have some viewers that are pretty far off grid, or they have like small animal vets instead of large animal vets. So they like to ask questions about, well, what if I'm too far out? What do I do then?
Okay, Jocelyn. That's great. Thank you. If you get me some suture, probably some hot Vicro Plus would be excellent.
Oh, that looks a lot better without that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
So that'll come together much better with that more linear incision.
It's okay, Mama. Now, after this heals up, is it better just to dry her up and let it heal completely and just give her a season off?
How far up is she?
She kidded in May.
Okay.
So about 5 months, right? 5, 6 months?
Yeah. And is she pregnant now?
I don't believe so, no.
Oh, you just had her with a buck, you were saying, right?
I don't think that she took.
Okay. This is not necessarily an injury that you have to dry her up. And in fact, we'll take that suture, Jocelyn. The challenge with, if she could just instantly become dry, that would be helpful for this wound to heal. But you and I both know it doesn't work that way. That she will get really full and tight as she's drying up, right?
Right. And she's a very prolific milker. It's very, and she never really fully dries up.
Yeah. So that's the challenge, is if you were to try and dry her up, she would get really full and tight, and I think that would be counterproductive to do right now in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Hey, he's pretty fat homepage.
It's okay, Mama.
You don't know. He really isn't paying my page. But she doesn't seem to be looking from the pain.
Well, when they're asleep and something's doing something, then it's not real bothering.
Watching this makes me think, why would anybody ever want a boob job? It just looks so horrible.
You saying my work looks horrible?
No.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I'm thinking, is she going to be so sore when this is over?
Well, and see, for her, this is only in the skin, and so we're not addressing all the deeper tissues, and so that would be even more painful, right?
Okay.
That we're not really going into the mammary gland itself at all.
So it's just skin.
Yeah, it's just skin. So in that respect, it wouldn't hurt any more or less than a laceration here on her trunk, right?
Okay.
Of course, the sensory nerves, they're more concentrated in different areas of the body, so there is some difference, but...
Oh, she looks so much better though.
She's not feeling it, though.
Life will go on.
Life will go on. For her and for you.
Doesn't feel that way when you walk out there and see it the first
Yes.
time.
Oh my
What do we
goodness,
do?
what do we
do?
do? Yeah. She's gonna be way better off, right? You can tell already this
Yeah.
is gonna come together nicely.
So much better. At first, I really thought she just was missing a huge patch. I mean, the way that it looked, how open it was, I just thought she must have left a square of hide somewhere.
Jocelyn, there was some yohimbine. Would you locate that? Even if it was the older one that was already opened, okay?
It's okay, Mama.
Almost done.
It's okay.
Isn't very nice to look at in Hobbage.
It looks so much better though. This one, she won't be so sensitive about it now. She can walk around and not feel like,
Not be hurting.
yeah.
This way it can get better, girls. It can get better quickly so she feels better.
We know.
Do you know?
You know? Okay. Why did I even say it? I don't know.
But just doesn't look.
It makes me feel better.
It just doesn't.
Good.
Look like
I'm glad it makes you feel
those,
better, Julie.
But just doesn't look good.
But it doesn't look better than it did? Remember
No,
how
it
everything
doesn't
was
look
open?
like she isn't very much in pain.
Yeah.
It looks like she's kind of in pain.
Well, she'll be sore. She'll be sore, and we'll have to make sure we take care of her really careful.
Okay, so another question, Julie. I imagine you or someone is drinking her milk currently.
We are.
Okay. I would also like to put her on some antibiotics. And so with that, we need to decide what antibiotics to put on and what the milk withhold is. We don't, in goats compared to cattle, in cattle we have more of a selection when it comes to antibiotics.
Okay.
Okay. We do have some with goat, some that are approved for use in goats. The downside to some of those is the milk withhold is not very clear.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But what I would probably recommend is an antibiotic called Maxell. It is approved for use in goats. It's the only one that's approved for use in goats.
Okay.
But it is a good antibiotic for this kind of an injury.
Okay.
Pretty broad spectrum. Really good for the udder. It's kind of concentrated somewhat. So
Okay.
it would be my drug of choice.
Okay.
And then we'll have to look at the milk withhold. I don't remember what it is. Hi.
I'm not seeing the bottle of yogurt bean.
Okay.
Do we need
I just saw it the other
to?
day.
Oh, I thought I did too.
So I just wanted to have it in case we needed it.
Okay. It's not like we need to send someone over the bottle.
No.
Well, until she was all healed up, I was just gonna throw the milk away anyway, so I don't.
Okay, so that's not a
Yeah.
big issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the one that found it first.
You did, huh? Yeah, we've got Mortimers are our neighbors down there at the dairy,
Okay.
and so we
Like
just.
Larry Mortimer or Dale?
Dale.
Okay.
So our neighbors have milk and we can just go get milk, so we'll just stay off of our milk for as long as we need to.
And I'll check the milk withhold, Julie, okay?
Okay.
So these sutures, the ones that I did under the skin, will dissolve, Julie,
Okay.
in 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
But these in the skin will not dissolve
Okay.
where they're exposed to the air on the outside.
Okay.
And so in about 2 weeks, oh, she's being. In about 2 weeks, you can take those out, or you can bring her back, and I'd be happy to take them out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. My husband always asks me why I always look so dirty when he gets home and why I haven't showered. I'm like, well, honey, my pee emergencies are numberless. If I changed my clothes every time I got poop or pee on me,
I wouldn't have any
I
clothing
would
to
have no
wear.
clean clothes.
Could you girls do me a favor? Could you guys move over here just a little bit so the light is better? Thanks.
Do you want him to move further?
Nope, that's great.
Okay.
Just lets that sunlight come in a little bit better. If I can use natural light, I will.
It's okay,
She's
Mom.
gonna be okay. She's gonna be all sore.
The bottle of Yohimbine that we had is expired
Okay,
and in the trash.
okay,
There's one coming in today.
okay. Can I get that other, do you have another suture? Thanks, can I get that from you, please?
Are you guys usually this busy?
Some days more than others, but this
Yeah.
is not atypical.
Okay, remember, stay over, okay, so he can see.
Jocelyn, would you mix up a 1 gram Naxel for us too?
So the sum total of the whole bill was $173.87. I have a friend that also owns goats, and she does her own sutures. With how big chamomile is and how big the cut was, I'm not sure if we could have done her because they had to cut so much of the skin off. I just don't know. But wouldn't that be a handy skill to have? They had to do 2 layers, 2 sets of sutures. But she seems to be doing well. I have to milk her about every 4 hours to keep her from bagging up. And I'm going to watch her really close to see if flies are bothering her, because that would be really bad if she got maggots in the incision or in the stitches. So I'm going to watch that, and there we go.